Live from the Ed McMahon Mass Communications Center at Quinnipiac University, this is QNN, the Quinnipiac News Network.
Good evening and welcome to QNN. I'm Maury Hirsch-Gordon.
And I'm Brianna Andrews. Creepy clown sightings have come to Quinnipiac.
Brianna, there were even rumors that the school went on lockdown, but as our own Ethan Savlik tells us, there was never anything to ever worry about.
I kind of thought it was ridiculous. I thought it was a joke at first. Kind of reminds me of the movie The Purge.
That's what many QU students felt as social media posts like these arose Monday night alleging a clown on campus.
Shortly after 7:30 on Monday, we started seeing a lot of reports on social media about lockdowns in the library, as well as over in the Center for Communications Engineering, as well as reports of clowns on campus.
Rumors spread of a clown at the library and the woods behind the College of Arts and Sciences. This prompted QU to tweet this, clearing things up.
I think they spread it on social media. It seemed to be happening at a number of different universities. We weren't the only university where it happened, so it seemed to kind of pick up steam via social media, and fortunately there was no truth to those rumors.
With the clown epidemic sweeping through the nation, Morgan says students should have nothing to worry about.
We have a very strong public safety presence, so being a private university, we can make sure we can restrict who comes on campus.
Morgan also debunked the rumor that this emergency button was pressed, which he says it wasn't.
Even though this does seem like just a Halloween hoax or just some clowning around, public safety does urge everybody to contact them or push one of these buttons if they see any suspicious activity on campus. Reporting from Quinnipiac, Ethan Savlik, QNN.
Thanks, Ethan. Even though the clown sightings were a hoax, Quinnipiac will be holding several active shooter trainings on all three campuses. The sessions have started and will continue through October 6th, and they are open to all students, faculty, and staff. The university has taken precautionary steps to prepare for a potential threat, and each and every month, 11 members of the community will meet to coordinate and plan a plan of action. And there's also been a slight change to Quinnipiac's public safety protocol on campus. In case of any emergency, officials have changed the 3-digit number to dial from 111 to 911. Calling 911 will alert both Hamden Police as well as Quinnipiac's Public Safety Department to any potential emergency.
The Hampton Planning and Zoning Commission has approved a proposal that will allow 2 new athletic fields to be built on main campus. The plan also includes a new building with locker rooms, bathrooms, and a press box. The current fields, hockey, rugby, and lacrosse fields will also be replaced with new artificial turf. Construction is all set to begin this fall. The university is also considering demolishing 6 historic houses that line Whitney Avenue. The oldest building was built before the Revolutionary War and was home to local Civil War heroes. A QU official says the houses were known for hosting parties and regularly received complaints.
And Cafe Q, also known as the CAF, received major renovations this year to improve its appeal to students. One of the major changes was the addition of multiple new food stations, such as Create, which is the new place to get smoothies. The CAF also extended their hours and now closes at 8 p.m. instead of 7 p.m.
Flu season is right around the corner. Quinnipiac University is offering free flu shots to faculty, staff, and students to help avoid people getting sick. The shots are being offered on the first floor in the Carl Hampton Student Center on the main Mount Carmel campus. You must have a valid Q card to receive the free shot.
And with Election Day just a few weeks away, Brianna, students gathered on Monday to see what's being called the most watched debate in history.
Tom Cunningham tells us what students thought of the candidates.
With perhaps the most anticipated presidential election in recent memory just over a month away, Donald Trump and Hillary Clinton went head-to-head in the first presidential debate on Monday night. Faculty members from the School of Communications and the College of Arts and Sciences at Quinnipiac University held a panel discussion as well as a debate watch party in the Mount Carmel Auditorium. While many usually look to the debate to really learn about a candidate's policies, this year, the hype around the debate was more for an entertainment value.
Well, it was an entertainment show as everyone expected it to be. There was a lot of laughs. Even the audience from the debate, they're normally not supposed to laugh or clap or anything, but they did. I think it was a really good representation of what the election is coming to and how there was no control over the debate at all. Lester Holt did not have control.
After the debate, several students were still left undecided on whom they would vote for in November.
I can't say I support Hillary Clinton. I do not support Hillary Clinton, but I cannot endorse Donald Trump.
I'm still undecided, though I am leaning towards Trump because he's the one that so far has shown more more appreciation for our men and women serving our country so far. So that's been the real trigger for me, seeing who I would vote for.
The next debate will be between the two vice presidential candidates, Tim Kaine and Mike Pence, which will take place on Tuesday, October 4th, with the next presidential debate between Trump and Clinton taking place on Sunday, October 9th. I'm Tom Cunningham, QNN.
Today in national news, there's a big mystery surrounding a rescued boater.
And a commuter train crashed and has killed at least one person. Nicholas Colon has all the details. Nick?
Tragic news as one person is dead and hundreds more are hospitalized after a train crash in Hoboken during this morning's commute. The New Jersey Transit train overran its stopping point and went airborne before landing in a passenger concourse. Footage from the scene shows severe structural damage at the terminal where parts of the roof have collapsed. Both New Jersey and New York officials are investigating the incident. And a first grader is fighting for his life after a shooting at a South Carolina elementary school. 6-year-old Jacob Hall was shot in the leg by a 14-year-old outside Taubville Elementary School in Taubville, South Carolina yesterday. Officials say the suspect shot and killed his father before firing shots at the school. Another student and a teacher were also shot, but their injuries appear to be non-life-threatening. And lastly, a missing boater who was lost at sea for more than a week has been found and brought home. 22-year-old Nathan Carmen and his mom, Linda, went on a fishing trip back in September when the Coast Guard launched a search, and after 8 days lost at sea, a Chinese freighter saw him in a life raft about 115 miles off the coast of Martha's Vineyard. Nathan was brought back home yesterday by the Coast Guard. Guys, a positive ending to a very scary story. Back to you guys.
Coming up on QNN, some lucky Q students are going to be a part of sports history.
And plus, we'll tell you about an unlikely friendship that formed right here at Quinnipiac. We'll be right back.
Welcome back to QNN. Best Buddies held an event at Quinnipiac's North Haven campus to raise awareness of its mission to foster friendships for people with intellectual disabilities. Andrew Badillo tells the story of two friends and how they were brought together by the program.
For over 10 years, Bobby Anthony has been forging friendships in a unique and special way.
I have friends from all over the country. We go apple picking, they come to my house, so I go to their house. Sometimes we would go on vacation together.
Bobby was born with an intellectual disability, but despite his handicap, he still enjoys the everyday activities any other college kid would enjoy.
To Eli's for happy hour, like every grad student does, Bobby came with us. When there's a Yale Q hockey game, he fits in just like anyone else.
Meet Quinnipiac grad student Caroline Cadigan, Bobby's quote-unquote buddy. But the term buddy does not truly do the pair's friendship justice.
It's a life-changing experience, and I think that people think you're in it to do a community service, and you're not.
A life-changing experience that would not have been possible if not for one person.
Oh, yes, your mom, right?
Bobby's mom serves as a board member for Best Buddies Connecticut. She discovered Best Buddies back when Bobby was in 7th grade, and ever since, she knew the organization would give Bobby something that was missing from his life.
But I could never create peer interaction that Best Buddies provided for Bobby, so Best Buddies filled that gap for us.
The bond Caroline and Bobby have is a special one. Bobby has meshed into Caroline's friend group, whether it's going out for drinks at Eli's or going to the annual Yale Quinnipiac hockey game. But Bobby has had the same effect on Caroline, as he has become a major part of her life, forever.
And I have to say that I probably talk to Bobby every day, probably, right? Or you text me every day.
With the help of Best Buddies and Quinnipiac, Bobby has earned a job at a local hospital. When I asked Bobby what he wanted to do with his life, he responded sweet and simple.
I hopefully want to have a wife, 3 kids, and I want to live down south because I don't like the winter.
Already mapping out their futures before they even take the next steps into the adult world, Caroline makes sure that Bobby does not leave her in the dust.
Yeah, it was 6 months in Florida, 6 months in New England.
I like that plan. I want to join.
In North Haven, Andrew Badillo, QNN.
Oh my God, Maury, didn't that just melt your heart?
It did.
Oh my goodness. But this weekend is Quinnipiac's annual Alumni Weekend. The event gives alumni the chance to reconnect with former classmates and offers the opportunity to see everything new at the university. Alumni will be able to attend a variety of different events, including an alumni family block party and a men's hockey game against Northeastern.
And speaking about sports, Quinnipiac Student Programming Board has organized a trip to Fenway Park this Saturday to watch the Red Sox play the Toronto Blue Jays. However, it's not your average baseball game. The Red Sox star David Ortiz is playing in his final homestand as a member of the club. More than 30 students bought tickets last Thursday, selling out the event, and the first pitch for the game is set for 7:10 p.m. And if you're looking for something else to do this weekend, whether it's at Fenway Park, there's also a local event in Southington. It's an apple festival, and Brianna, they're expected to draw about 100,000 visitors.
Wow. Many of them are going to be waiting in line for some famous apple fritters. Kaylin Blonstein tells us why they're so popular.
People from all over come to the Southington Apple Harvest Festival every year for one thing, the apple fritters. Every year for the last 47 years, the Zion Lutheran Church has sold hundreds of thousands of apple fritters. The lines extend down the street, leaving some people waiting for upwards of 3 hours, sometimes before the booth even opens. Apple fritter maker Helmut Jobs has been making the apple fritters in the booth for 40 years. He firsthand knows how hard that work can be.
Well, it's grueling work. I mean, you got to be there for 3 or 4 hours straight doing one thing. It's pretty tough.
Zion Lutheran Church volunteer Ben Darling says all of the church must come together for the sake of those fritters.
Because we have a lot of fun in there. We have to band as a team to be able to do that. If one person doesn't do their share, the whole thing collapses.
And every year, the fritters only grow in popularity.
Oh, it's just gotten bigger. We're a lot bigger, and we need more help. We're just selling more and more fritters every year.
Some members of the community, like William Tchaikovsky, look forward to the festival every year just so he can share those fritters with loved ones.
I think apple fritters are right up close to the top of what brings people in here. I'll be back probably 3 more times this week to pick up fritters for work and for family.
I look forward to it. I'm sure that Southington looks forward to it very much.
The apple fritter booth will continue to be open through this upcoming Sunday. In Southington, Kaylin Blonstein, QNN.
Brianna, making me hungry already. Fall festivities are in full swing.
Yes.
Coming up on QNN, it's going to be a windy weekend. Connor Fortier will be here with a look at your forecast.
Plus, we'll look ahead to Bobcat Madness. Stay tuned with us.
And we're back with your latest weather update.
Things are getting a little gusty out there. Connor Fortier has our weather.
Story here on campus today. We're averaging around 13 miles per hour for wind, gusts up to 19 miles per hour, though, all out of the northeast. My hair kind of fell victim to it today, but my tie's doing a good job cooperating with this wind. For the rest of the day, though, it's going to be pretty mild, 66 degrees as your high. A little bit of drizzle as the night begins, and that drizzle is going to turn into a full-blown rain shower on Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. So all this weekend, most likely going to be a washout as we're looking at some rain. So if you're a couple who likes to take basic fall photos in a pumpkin patch or picking apples, probably should hold off this weekend. Starting up on Monday, though, we're going to have some cloud coverage in the morning with the sun poking through in the afternoon with a high of about 70 degrees. Tuesday looks to be pretty cloudy again with 67 as the high. Wednesday, mostly sunny. That's going to be probably the pick of the week. Hopefully the sun can poke out there for all you Bobcats with a high of 67. Thursday, partly cloudy with another high of 67. Friday, a possibility of some showers at 68. And Saturday, partly cloudy with a high of 71. So that mild weather is going to continue here at Quinnipiac as the leaves begin to change. Back to you guys.
And transitioning over to sports, the women's soccer team has turned things around these last few weeks with wins against in-state rival Fairfield, Marist, and Manhattan.
But Kanish and Iona both made trips to Hamden this past week. How'd you do, QU? Nicholas Collin is back to catch you up on all things Quinnipiac sports. Nick?
Guys, and the Quinnipiac women's soccer team took on Canisius on Senior Day this past coming weekend with a 3-0 win. Alex Pelletier opened up the floodgates for the Bobcats with her 3rd goal of the season. Nadia Gill and Madison Borowicz each added a goal of their own just minutes apart. Dave Clark's team then took on Iona Gales yesterday, and let's see how they did. We start off with sophomore phenom Nadia Gill streaking down the right-hand side, pushing past Iona's defense and squaring across for senior Kelly Caruso. Took a touch and roofed it into the back of the net for her 3rd goal of the season. As we move on, we have another chance here for the Bobcats as Jess Fontaine gets the ball out wide and tries to square it for Nadia Gill, who gets some contact in the box as she tries to get around her feet, but referees having none of that. She gets another chance, though, as Kylie Lance whips the ball off the top of the crossbar, and Nadia Gill comes up and taps in the leftovers for a 2-0 lead for the Bobcats in this one. But the Iona Gales would not be denied as Amber Crispin comes down the right-hand side and beats Mizuski at her near post to bring the score to 3-1. Iona riding on their momentum after Emily Hansen lined up to take a penalty and cut the lead to 1. The Bobcats ended up finishing this one 3-2, and the Bobcats will take on Monmouth in their next MAC matchup. And we move on to the number 2 nationally ranked men's ice hockey team opened up its season against the number 15 Northeastern at High Point Solutions Arena. The Bobcats and Huskies skated to a 2-2 tie in Game 1 of the weekend series. Andrew Taverner opened up the scoring for the Bobcats, giving Quinnipiac a 1-0 lead at the end of the first period. In the second period, it was all about the transfer goaltender Chris Truel, who stopped 16 of the 17 shots he faced. Truel's 16 saves in a period were the most by a Quinnipiac goalie since Michael Gartig had 19 back in 2015. Bo Piper scored his first goal of the season late in the third period, but Northeastern would respond with just 53 seconds left on the clock to tie it at 2, and that would be the final in this one. Game 2 was a completely different story, as it was all Quinnipiac. The Bobcats rolled to a 5-2 win over the Huskies behind a 2-goal performance from senior forward Tim Clifton. Chris Truel picked up his first win in a Bobcats uniform with 32 saves. The team travels to Maine this weekend to take on the Maine Black Bears in a 2-game set before returning home on the 19th to take on UConn. Moving on to rugby, Becky Carlson and her women's rugby team will travel across the country to Washington this weekend to take on Central Washington University. Central Washington is the last team to beat Quinnipiac with a 33-12 victory in Hamden last fall. The Bobcats are riding on an 11-game winning streak coming into the matchup against the Wildcats. And with basketball season just around the corner, the Quinnipiac men's and women's basketball teams will open up the 2016-17 season with Bobcat Madness this Friday at TD Bank Sports Center. The pep rally will showcase basketball team as a different spirit groups on campus. The event will also feature a variety of contests and promotions, including the chance for 4 freshmen to win free tuition for a semester by hitting a half-court shot, and free Bobcat Madness t-shirts for the first 1,200 fans. Guys, I wish I had that opportunity to hit a half-court shot and get free tuition. I don't know about you guys.
Why didn't they have free tuition when we were freshmen? That is so not fair.
Yeah, I wish they would have had that. I would have called my mom and dad out right after I hit the
Seriously, Quinnipiac needs to make some changes because that's wrong. But coming up on QNN, how a popsicle changed one man's life.
And we'll be right back. Welcome back to QNN. Brianna, listen to this. An 89-year-old man named Financio Sanchez walks the streets of Chicago selling popsicles day to day in efforts to pay his bills.
And after a customer took notice, he wanted to give back, and a GoFundMe was created with the goal of raising $3,000 to allow Sanchez to retire.
And that page went viral, and donations exceeded its goal, resulting in over $300,000.
Wow. Thank you so much for joining us for QNN News.
And we'll be back next week with more news from around Quinnipiac and the local community.
Yeah.